My name is Lichi from a town secondary school. Today we will start Chinese language. Our Chinese language studying will just try to look how to make a simple greetings in Chinese. Our first topic will be you and I. You and I. How to say you and I. And within this subtopic, we will try to see how we can use the words, new words, simple words in Chinese to make some sentences. For example, first of all, we have to see how to make a greetings. Chinese language has a simple greetings for everyone. For example, we want to make a greeting like hi. In English we say hi, but in Chinese language we say ni hao. We say ni hao. Everyone say ni hao. When you say ni hao in Chinese, you mean hi in English, but in Swahili you mean habari. So when you say ni hao in Chinese, you mean hi in English. So, ni hao Chinese words are from two words. Ni as the first word, hao as the second word. So, we can see how this girl and boy make a greeting of ni hao by action. You can see that a boy asks a girl ni hao, and a girl reply ni hao. So, something to note. In Chinese, when you say ni hao, it means hi. And when you reply by saying ni hao too, it means hi too. Or in Swahili, it means when you say ni hao, it means habari. And when somebody reply by saying ni hao, it means nzuri in Swahili. So from there, we can see how we can make a question from this simple greeting of ni hao. You can see a picture. A girl asks a boy by saying in Chinese, ni hao ma? Ni hao ma? You can see, before we used two words, we used two Chinese words, ni hao, and now we have the third word, ma. So if we can make addition, we can say ni hao ma. So if you add ma in ni hao and to sound as ni hao ma, it means you ask a question. The meaning of ni hao ma is how are you? How are you? In English, in Swahili, haujambo. In Chinese, you say ni hao ma. In Chinese. In English, you mean, how are you? So you can look to the picture. The boy reply, 我很好. The boy say, 我很好. The girl asked, 你好吗? The boy replied, 我很好. The meaning of 我很好in English, it means, I am fine. I am very fine. But in Swahili, you can say, sijambo, niko vizuri, in Swahili. In Chinese, you say, 我很好, I am very good. My students, as I said, we use a simple words. I said before, we use a simple words. We use a simple Chinese words to make a sentence. So our lesson will try to look these Chinese words, and from these Chinese words, we use them to make a sentences. Look to the picture. There is something known as new words. From there, you can see Chinese words that from these words, we can use them to create and make sentences. Making Chinese sentences. The number one word is 你 The number one is ni. The meaning of ni, Chinese word ni, in English you mean you. So the word ni, ni in Chinese, in English you mean you. Everybody say ni. Ni. In English you mean you. In Swahili you mean wewe. Chinese words ni stand for wewe in Kiswahili. The second word is hao. Hao. Everyone say hao. 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 In Chinese, when we say hao, in English we mean good. Okay? We mean good. Hao, good. So, not only good, but also we can mean in English hao by mean fine. So, hao in Chinese, we can have the meaning in English that good or fine. In Swahili, we can say vizuri. So, hao. Everybody say hao. In English, we mean good. In Swahili, we mean vizuri. That's the second word. Let us look to the third word. The third word is about ma. Everyone look there. Ma. Everybody look to the screen. The word ma. That's how it be sounded in Chinese. We say ma. Ma in English. The meaning of ma in English, it's a question particle. Chinese word ma, it used as a question particle. The word that used to form a question. It's good. In Chinese, when you say ma, you mean, or it is used for the making question or a question particle. The word ma. Everybody say again, ma. 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 In English, we mean it's a question particle. In Swahili, just neno linalotumika kuundia swali. In English, it's a question particle. The word ma in Chinese. Let us look to the fourth word. The fourth word is wo. Everybody look to the screen. Wo. Wo. Everybody say wo. Wo. In Chinese, when you say wo, in English you mean me or I. Wo, it means me or I. In Swahili, it means mimi. Wo. Wo. Everybody look to the screen and look the word wo in Chinese. And then try to pronounce the way I do. Wo. Wo. That's how we pronounce in Chinese the word wo. In English, we say me or I. In English, me or I. In Swahili, we mean mimi. Thank you very much. Let us go to take the fifth words. How we pronounce it? We say hen. In Chinese, we pronounce as hen. What the meaning in English? The word in Chinese, hen, in English it means ver. Ver. In Swahili, we can say sana. Sana. Hen, ver, sana. In Chinese, we pronounce this word hen, hen, hen. In English, we mean ver. In Swahili, we mean sana. Everybody say hen, hen, hen. Thank you. Let us go to check how we can use these words to make a sentence. Look to the screen. We can see there how we can use that words to make a sentence. So let us come to see sentence patterns. Everybody, look to the screen. Sentence patterns. Sentence patterns is how we can use these words we have seen here a few seconds ago to make a Chinese sentences. We saw some Chinese words, ni, hao, wo, hen, ma. So let us come to see how we can use these Chinese words to make a simple Chinese sentences. Number one, ni hao. At the first, when I introduced my class to say, I said ni hao. So we can see from these new words, these words that we have in Chinese, these few words, we can combine them to make a Chinese sentences in this way. Can you remember number one from the previous session? We saw number one was ni. In English we said you. And then we saw the second word as hao. Hao. We meant good. Good. So when in sentence pattern, we combine the word ni and hao, we make a sentence, and that sentence a simple Chinese greetings. Ni, hao, and this is a common Chinese greeting. Everybody may apply this. Ni, hao. From the screen, we can see there, number one sentence is ni hao. Ni hao. Ni hao. Everybody try to pronounce ni hao. Ni hao. In English, we mean hi. Hi. Or we can say, in English, we can have another meaning from ni hao. How are you? How are you? I make this addition, meaning in English, ni hao in Chinese, we can mean in English as hi or how are you? So if you want to ask somebody in Chinese, you want to ask your friend, anybody, you want to ask, how are you in Chinese? You can say, ni hao. Ni hao. Have you understood? Yes. Let us come to see the second sentence. Sentence number 2. From the screen, everybody look to the screen. There is a sentence which is written as ni hao ma. Ni hao ma. Ni hao ma. In Chinese, we pronounce by saying ni hao ma. Ni hao ma. Remember, in previous session, I said the word ni, it means you in English. The word hao, it means good in English. The word ma. Do you remember? I said ma used for a question particle. Question particle. The word ma in Chinese used to form a question. So, if we look to the screen, the second sentence is ni hao ma. Ni hao ma. Ni hao ma. In Chinese, in English, we mean, how are you? How are you? how are you? Or we can mean, are you fine? Are you fine? Can you see the difference? When we use the single sentence, 你好吗, in Chinese, we can mean in English as the question, how are you? Or are you fine? So if you want to ask your friends that, are you fine? In Chinese we say, 你好吗? 你好吗? When you say 你好吗 in Chinese, in English you mean, are you okay? Are you okay? Have you understood? Thank you. Let us come to see the third sentence. The third sentence is, you can try to look to the screen, 我很好. 我很好. Everybody try to pronounce 我很好. Very, very beautiful pronunciation, Chinese. So say 我很好. 我很好. In Chinese, when you say 我很好, 我很好, do you remember? 我 means me, 很 means very, 好 means good. So if we combine these Chinese words to form a sentence as 我很好, we mean I'm very good. I'm very good. Everybody say 我很好. 我很好. Look to the screen. You can see how we used the simple Chinese words to make a simple Chinese sentences. That's why, as you see from the screen, the third sentence is 我很好. You can see from the first sentence, 你好. 你好. How are you? The second sentence, 你好吗? 你好吗? Are you fine? The third sentence, 我很好. 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 How are you? Are you fine? 我很好. I am fine. I am very fine. I am very fine in English. Thank you, my students. Let us keep on going to look for the next session. I taught you the simple Chinese words to form a simple Chinese sentences. And all about this Chinese sentences is about Chinese simple greetings. Do you remember? Thank you very much. So, let us come to see how you can pronounce it loudly. Look to the screen. Read loud. Read aloud. Read aloud. You can see there are some Chinese sentences, Chinese greetings. Try to pronounce the way I instructed you, the way I told you. Try to pronounce yourself. Look to the screen and try to pronounce aloud. Read aloud. The first sentence is about 你好. 你好. Read aloud. 你好. 你好. Everybody say 你好. 你好. It's good. Do you see? Look to the screen. You can see the second sentence. 你好吗? 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 Try to read aloud. 你好吗？你好吗？你好吗？ Repeat again. 你好吗？你好吗？ The third sentences. We made a sentences as 我很好. Look to the screen. 我很好. 我很好. Read aloud. 我很好. Again. 我很好. 我很好. Thank you very much. Let us come to see this another session. I would like where you are, my students, stand with your fellow and try to make a dialogue. Look to the screen. Our session is about making dialogues. How we can use these simple Chinese sentences to make a dialogue. Make a conversation. You with your fellow. You with your friends. You can use these simple Chinese sentences to make a dialogue, to make a conversation. You can ask your friends, 你好, 你好, and your friend can reply too by saying, 你好, 你好. If you say 你好, the first 你好, it's about a question that, how are you? If your friend replies by saying 你好, it means I am fine. Try. 你好, and your friend reply by saying 你好. The first 你好, it's all about how are you? The second 你好, it's all about I am fine, I am good. Just exchange position. You, student B, ask the student A by using the particle question, the Chinese particle question, the word ma. So you can say 你好吗? You can ask your friend 你好吗? If you ask your friend by saying 你好吗 in Chinese, your friends may reply by saying 我很好, 我很好. When you say 你好吗, it means you asked your friend a question about how are you or are you fine? If your friend replied by saying 我很好, 我很好, your friend means I am very good. I am very good. 你好吗? 我很好. 你好吗? 我很好. Thank you very much. Look to the screen to see the next session. The next session is about read and match. The left side we have Chinese words. You can try to look. The left side we have the Chinese words, and the right side we have English words. So what we mean from there is about you to make a matching. You have to choose a single or a particular Chinese words, and you have to search for its meaning from the right side. For example, in the left side we have Chinese words like 你, 你. We have the words like 你, 你. Also we have the word 我, wo, wo. Also, we had the words hen, 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 and also we had with the words how, how, how. Try to match. You have to look that the words ni, try to look its meaning in the right sides. In the right sides, we have some English words. We have good and fine. Good, fine. Also, we have the words ver. We have the words you. We have the word I or me. And we have the words you, ver, good, and fine. So try to look the left side Chinese words that its meanings is from the right, the left or the right side of English words. You can try to see the words ni. We have tried to allocate the words ni. Its meaning is, you can see how the signs allocates the meaning of ni in English. So here is all about read and match. You read Chinese words from the left side and you match its meaning from the right side where there are English words. Thank you very much. Let us come to see another session. Try to look to the screen. The next session is all about translation. Do not confuse my students. We use a simple Chinese words to make a simple Chinese sentences. And here it's all about making a simple Chinese greetings. And these greetings you can use everywhere to everybody. And here in this session, we look how we can make translation. I did a translation on previous sessions. I need you, my students, to try at your best to make translations from that Chinese sentences that you see from the screen. Do you remember when we said ni hao? What did we mean? Okay, what's the meaning? Ni hao. Ni hao. Or the meaning? Do you remember? Try to give us the meaning of ni hao. Ni hao. Okay, thank you. The word ni hao or the sentence ni hao, we can mean how are you? How are you? How are you in English? In Swahili we mean how jambo? How jambo? So in Chinese we say ni hao. Ni hao. The first sentence. Ni hao, we mean how are you? How are you? In Swahili we mean how jambo? How jambo? The second sentence for the translation is about ni hao ma. Ni hao ma. Do you remember what did we mean by saying ni hao ma? Try to tell us. Ni hao ma. What? Ni hao ma. In Chinese, when you say ni hao ma, we mean are you fine? Are you fine? So when you meet with a Chinese person and he asked you about ni hao ma, you have to know that he means are you fine? Ni hao ma. So Chinese or native Chinese speaker may try to speak ni hao ma. Ni hao ma. You have to put in your mind that when he said about 你好吗, it means, are you fine? He asked you a question. He asked you a question that are you fine? 你好吗? 你好吗? Its meaning is, are you fine? Are you fine? Okay, have you understood? Thank you. Let us go to see the second or the third sentence. The third sentence is, as you look to the screen, it sounds like in Chinese we say 我很好 我很好 Everybody say 我很好 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 So in Chinese, when you say 我很好 我很好 in English by its translations is about I am very good. I am very good. In Chinese, you say 我很好 So if your friends ask you in Chinese 你好吗 你好吗 You have to reply by saying 我很好 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 你好吗 我很好 If somebody asks you 你好吗 You reply by saying 我很好 我很好 Thank you. So let us come to see another session in our class today. I told you how we can use a simple Chinese words to form a simple Chinese sentences. And in our class today, it's all about how to use simple Chinese words to form a simple Chinese greetings. My students, Chinese words, you can see just like the sign language, the language that use the characters. Try to look to the screen. The next session is about right characters. Right characters. As you see, Chinese language obviously is different language the way it is being written from our language like Swahili and English. In Chinese, we use characters to write some words. And these characters, as you see it with the screen, it is the ways of writing. It is written in a systematic way. We do not write characters or Chinese words without a formula. We use a certain formula to write the Chinese character to form Chinese words. So from the screen, you can see there, as I said, right characters. We have some Chinese words that we used in our previous session. Do you remember? You can see the word like ni. From the left side, try to look to the screen. From the right side, we have three Chinese words. Do you remember that word, the first one? Ni. Ni. And the second one, we have hen. Do you remember that word? That word in Chinese? Hen. Hen. And the third one and the last one today we have hao. 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 To our class today, from our class today, we shall try to see how we can write these triple Chinese words, three Chinese words from the left side, how we can write them step by step. Chinese words written through or by following step by step. And on this session, I tried my best to show you how we can write, for example, the word ni. The word ni. You can see the words ni can be written step by step up to the perfection of its up to the perfection of the word ni. Not only ni, but also look to the words hen. Look to the word hen. You can see also on the screen how the word hen, Chinese word hen, can be written step by step. You can try by following that step, every step from the first step to the last step. Also, you can see the words how it can be written. This Chinese word how it can be written through step by step. The word how, that we mean good in Chinese, you can see on the screen how it is written step by step. My students, I think you have understood the way we can write Chinese character, the way we can write Chinese words. I welcome you to this session. Look on the screen. Pronunciation practice. We are going to look pronunciation practice. I want you to look this, how we can pronounce Chinese words. I want to tell you, my students, Chinese words, it's all about, it is governed by what we call as tones. Tones. Tones are the specific governor of the Chinese words. Without these tones, Chinese words cannot get meaning. We have to use tones in Chinese words to get the specific meaning. The changes of tones can change the meaning too. The same Chinese words with the different tones can have the different meaning too. In Chinese, we have 4 tones. We use 4 tones to direct the meaning of Chinese words. 4 tones. If you look to the screen, we can try to see, I have tried to show you that tones. You can try to see. The first tone from the word a, above the letter a, there is a certain sign there, and that is tone. You can see from all letters, above all letters, there are some signs. And that signs, in Chinese, we call tones. Or in English, we call tones. Tones in Chinese are what give the meaning of Chinese words. Without tones in Chinese, no meaning. Have you understood? So we have to know these tones so as to get a meaning. From the screen, you can see the first sentence. I write there letter A. Letter A, we have our way how we pronounce the letter A with that particular tone. The tone changes even the particular pronunciation of the particular Chinese words. For example, we can say in Chinese, if you say it means there is a certain tone above the letter A. By starting, we can say why we say because above the letter A there is a certain sign, there is a tone which instructs us, which guides us to pronounce it in long. We say everybody say look to the screen. It's like one way speaking. The second tone it's about Why we say it's because the tone instructs us to rise up from down to up. You see, we pronounce from down to up. First we said second we say Look to the third tone. The third tone has fall and rise, fall and rise tone. So how we pronounce the letter A when it has that fall and rising tone? We pronounce Everybody pronounce The fourth one is falling tone. The falling tone guides us to pronounce the letter A as A. Try to look to the screen. If we start afresh from the first tone, we can say Repeat after me. Look to the screen. Look to the screen. The first one we say the second one we say the third one the last one we pronounce Everybody pronounce Let us check to another letter. We have the letter O. In Chinese, we pronounce it as O. O. By following these tones, we can pronounce O, 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 O. If you look to the screen, we can see the way I pronounce from that letters. O, 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 O. You fail and rise up. O. And the last one, you fell down. O, O, O. The last letters. You see there is a letter E in English. We pronounce it as E in English, but in Chinese we say O, O, not O. It is O, O, The first tone guides us to pronounce it as the second tone, the third tone is the last one is Thank you very much. My students, from there we have seen how we can use these Chinese words, simple Chinese words, to make simple Chinese sentences. And I remind you that today we were trying to put emphasis on looking how we could use these simple Chinese sentences or simple Chinese words to form a simple Chinese sentences. And all about today was about to see or to look how we can use these simple Chinese words and sentences to form a simple Chinese greetings. Thank you very much for watching this lesson for today. Thank you very much. Wish you all the best. 再见。